is 855 million, and the Tier 2 proposal is 1,069 million, a total of 1.9 billion pesos. Next slide, please. So this is the component of the recommended budget as provided in the National Expenditure Program, consisting of personal services, 511 million, MOOE, 327 million, capital outlay, 93 million, total, RLIP, 44 million, with a grand total of 976 million, Your Honors. As compared to the last year's approved budget of the Commission on Human Rights, we had a grand total of 1 billion. Out of the 1 billion, we had 958 million for PAPs. And as compared to the recommended budget, we were provided 932 million for PAPs, and with a total of 976 million, which signifies a marked decrease of 25 million or 2.56 from the last year's budget, Your Honors. These are the details by object of expenditures of our proposed budget. Next slide, please. For the highlights and salient features of the 2024 National Expenditure Program. So for personal services, 653 filled position as of April 28, 2023, with a lump sum for casual or non-itemized position amounting to 12,346,000, which was decreased by 18,000 from the current budget of 12,364,000. We have provision for loyalty award of employees amounting to 405,000. Pension benefits of the 6 former commissioners or members of the 3rd and 4th Commission amounting to 16,744,000. And terminal leave benefits of mandatory retirees amounting to 8,988,000. For maintenance and other operating expenses, we were given allocation for human rights protection prevention amounting to 82 million. Human rights promotion program amounting to 28 million. Human rights policy advisory program amounting to 43 million. For capital outlay, we were given a 77,750,000, and a provision for the procurement of 9 units motor vehicles amounting to 15,500,000. So next slide shows the impact without the additional MOOE approval. So for traveling expenses, it would have a significant impact in the operation of the Commission, considering that in human rights protection, our investigators usually travel in far-flung areas in different parts of the country. So with the decrease of the traveling expenses, our operations will be significantly affected. For financial assistance, there is a marked decrease likewise from 13,750,000 to 3,800,000. Well, financial assistance is provided by the Commission on Human Rights to victims of human rights violations. With the decrease, we will be having a difficult time and difficulty in providing financial assistance, which is very much needed by the victim. For office supplies and materials, there is also a marked decrease from 20,153,000 to 17,094,000. For trainings and scholarship, again, there is a decrease from 45 million to 44 million. For fuel, oil, and lubricants, there is likewise a decrease, 5 million to 5.3 million to 1.9 million. And considering the aging vehicles that the Commission on Human Rights already have, a decrease in the fuel, oil, lubricants, as well as repair and maintenance would significantly affect the operations of the Commission, not only in the central office, but more importantly in the regional offices. And for one of the highlights of the decrease probably is the provision for rents. We proposed our requirement for rental is 8,305,000, but we were given 7,205,000 with a budget deficiency of 1.1 million. Well, what we want to note here is that the Commission has, in several regional offices, have no, has not, do not have its own buildings. So we are relying merely on rents, and with the decrease of the budget on the rental expenditures, the operation of the Commission would definitely be affected. For the financial performance, as of December 31, 2022, the Commission obligated 99.87%, and this has disbursed 99.44% out of the total budget. And as of the first semester of the current year, we have already obligated 51.73% and disbursed 98.33% out of the obligated amount. Well, what we would like to highlight on this is that while we have already obligated 51%, we would like to emphasize that most of the activities of the Commission on Human Rights happens during the third and fourth quarter of the year. So we are sure that despite having obligated only 51% as of the first semester of the year, we are sure that we will be able to obligate and spend the remaining budget provided to us. And for COA compliances, we would like to emphasize, Your Honors, that the Commission has consistently received unmodified opinion from the Commission on Audit from 2019 up to 2022. And for status of audit suspensions, disallowances, and charges, we would like to share that the Commission has no standing suspension, disallowance, or charges. For the physical performance, for Human Rights Protection Program, the Commission has received for 2022 as compared to 2023 first semester. For new complaints, we received 5,901. And for the first semester of 2023, 1,100 already received. For cases disposed, for 2022, we disposed 3,292 cases. And as of first semester of this year, 1,728 has already been disposed. And for filing in courts or agencies, we have 534 cases, and as of 2022, and for the first semester of this year, 272 cases. IDPs monitored, internally displaced persons, we have monitored last year, 2022, totaling to 335,243 individuals. And as of the first semester of 2023, we have monitored 24,454 individuals. Well, to explain the decrease in the number of monitored IDPs, I would like to state, Your Honors, that the Commission last year was heavily relied on external fundings in monitoring activities of IDP situations. And this year, for the current year, we have no more external funding. So we were only, there is a marked decrease in the monitoring of activities of the Commission on Human Rights. Also, in legal aid and counseling services, we were able to provide this service to at least 6,278 in 2022. And in first semester of this year, we have already provided 2,222 individuals this service. And for financial assistance to victims of human rights and families of witnesses of human rights violation, we have provided a total amount of 16,190,000 for the year 2022, and for first semester of this year, we have already provided 3,360,000, and the beneficiaries amount to 805 individuals last year, and for this year, first semester, 238. There is also a marked decrease in the amount provided by the Commission on Human Rights because last year, the amount provided by the Commission ranges from 5,000 to 30,000 pesos, depending on the nature of the violation. However, this year, considering the lack of sufficient funding to provide financial assistance, the Commission decided to reduce the amount to a maximum of 10,000 pesos for individuals. The Commission also provided independent forensic services. Last year, 40 forensic examinations were provided, and for this year's first semester, we already conducted 33. And for clearances and certifications, 1,240 last year and 779 for the first semester this year. For Human Rights Prevention Program, the Commission has visited jail facilities in 2022, consisting of 982 jails. For the first semester this year, we have visited already 517. And the PDLs given assistance by the Commission on Human Rights last year, 7,944 individuals. And for this year, first semester, 1,567. I would like to note, Your Honors, that this item, PDLs given assistance, is demand-driven. So it's only when a PDL comes to the Commission on Human Rights and request for assistance that we count our accomplishment on this. For human rights promotion, the Commission on Human Rights has conducted 1,512 activities with 87,213 participants last year. And for this year, we already conducted 761 activities with 50,349 participants. Also part of the Human Rights Promotions Program is the establishment of a Human Rights Action Center in the local government units, which the Commission on Human Rights successfully conducted, consisting of 169 LGUs. And we also are successful in the establishment of centers for human rights education in higher educational institutions, consisting of 47 educational institutions. For Human Rights Policy Advisory Program, the Commission on Human Rights has issued position papers, 8 in 2022, and for this year, first semester, 6. Human Rights Policy Advisories, both national and local, and region-specific, last year, 41, and this year for semester 18. We also issue situation reports. Last year, we issued 97, and for this year's first semester, 35. And community-based dialogues, 45 last year, and for this year, first semester, 18. And for human rights defenders ordinances, we were able to lobby, or we successfully advocated for the passage of one human rights defenders ordinance last year, and for this year, first semester, 2. So in relation to the eight-point socioeconomic agenda, for enhanced bureaucratic efficiency, so we relate it to our general administrative services. From 2023, 342,000, and 2024, 295, a marked decrease of 13.48%. On enhanced bureaucratic efficiency, there is an increase from 105 million to 177 million, or 41% increase. In strengthening social protection, we relate it to our protection service. We were given 351 million last year, now 303 million for this year. In strengthening social protection, we relate it to our prevention service. We were provided the budget last year of 28 million, and for this year, a decrease to 27 million. In relation to agenda on safety reopen face-to-face education, we relate it to our promotion service. And we were given a budget in amount of 90 million in last year, and decreased to 83 million for this year's NEP. And for the agenda on to ensure food security, we relate it to our policy services. And there is a minimal decrease provided to us for this year. We would like also to highlight, Your Honors, that there were several tasks and mandates given to the Commission on Human Rights, not only by the Constitution, but also by several laws enacted after the Constitution. And we would like to highlight the common gaps that we have already identified. And these are, one, lack or insufficient fund for digitation and data infrastructure programs, lack of central office personnel and counterpart in the regional offices to perform IT and specific protection, prevention, policy, and promotion functions, incomplete manpower fill-up, inadequate funds, budgetary support for existing programs, like the financial assistance, jail visitation, international engagement, victim support, and referral, and others, and popularization initiatives on CHR mandate. And the need to capacitate personnel in the implementation of special laws. And most of the special laws which the CHR has to implement are unfunded. Just to highlight, Your Honor, we were given mandates under the following laws. Under Republic Act 9851, the International Humanitarian Law. Under Republic Act 9262, the Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act of 2004. Republic Act 11036, or the Mental Health Act. Significantly, the Mental Health Act has provided us a broad mandate with regard to visitation and inspection of mental facilities or institutions. And the law mandated us to be part of the Internal Review Board of Mental Institutions and part of the Philippine Council for Mental Health. Also, under Republic Act 11188, or the Special Protection of Children in Situation of Armed Conflict, as well as the Anti-Terrorism Act of 2020, uh, which mandates us to give priority, highest priority to the investigation and prosecution of violation of civil and political rights of persons in relation to the implementation of the anti-terror law. Also, under our Republic Act 9745, the Anti-Torture Act of 2009, and RA 10353, or the Anti-Enforced Disappearance Law of 2012. And Republic Act 9710, or the Magna Carta of Women, well, the law named the Commission on Human Rights as the gender ombud of the country, Gender and Development Ombud. And we were given, we were mandated to perform functions on this law. And under Republic Act 9344, the Juvenile Justice and Welfare Act, again, also the Commission was given a mandate on this. We would like also to mention under RA, the Commission was given mandate or additional functions on the Juvenile Justice and Welfare Act, the Anti-Online Sexual Abuse or Exploitation of Children, and the Act prohibiting practice of child marriages and and the expanded Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act. And Your Honors, these laws gave the Commission on Human Rights additional functions, but we were not given sufficient resources for this. That concludes our presentation, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Chairperson Palpalatok. So let's move forward, and the first interpellator, of course, is coming from the minority, and I would like to recognize Assistant Minority Leader Marisa Maxim.
Magandang umaga po to our fellow colleagues and of course to the CHR family and to our guest. Sa ating pong OFW party list, very important po sa atin ang malaman po ang programa ng CHR for the OFW families. And I would like to ask yung ating human trafficking incidents wherein ang mga OFWs natin ang most vulnerable, most abused, na gusto ko sana mabigyan po ang ating opisina ng submission po ng inyo pong data about this. Now, under the CHR Human Rights Protection Program, you have a program of conduct of regular visitations in places of detention and rehabilitation facilities and preventive monitoring of human rights condition therein. For this year, 2023, the sub-program has an allocation of 26,514,000, and for 2024, a little higher budget of 26,931,000 proposed po sa ating same sub-program. Do we consider the low budget allocation for food of persons deprived of liberties or PDLs and the congested unhygienic conditions of our detention facilities violation of their human rights? That's number one. What steps the Commission taking to address this concern, Madam Chair?
Chairman, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honors, Madam Chair. With regard to the programs on overseas Filipino workers, the Commission, one of the programs that the Commission would want to implement is regular monitoring of OFWs who were charged in other countries. And well, we would like to highlight, Your Honors, that in the past months, the Commission took an initiative for purposes of visiting or for the family of a PDL abroad to visit a Filipino who is incarcerated in other country. We also conduct legal aid services, and we are now, we intend to refocus and strengthen our human rights protection for OFWs to include provision of legal services to the Filipino, to the OFW as well as to the families of OFWs, especially on incarcerated Filipino workers abroad. Ano na yung next question? PDLs. On the PDLs, on the jail visitation of the Commission on Human Rights, we not only monitor torture, inhumane, or unjust punishment, we likewise monitor the situations of persons deprived of liberty in places of detention, including mental facilities, Your Honor. Now, what we are what we are looking at is the condition of the PDLs. So it refers to food, medicine, and other welfare of the PDLs. And we would like to highlight, Your Honor, that in the past years, the Commission initiated an activity or a program on the National Preventive Mechanism, Your Honor. It is in response to the obligation of the state under the optional protocol on the Convention Against Torture, where the state is obligated to designate a national preventive mechanism in the country. Now, that the initiative taken by the Commission on Human Rights is to establish an interim national preventive mechanism. And this INPM monitored several places of detention. Unfortunately, due to lack of funding, we were not able to continue the program. And instead, we focused on lobbying for the passage of a law for the designation of national preventive mechanism in compliance with the OPCAT.
Madam Chair, I would like to thank the Commission for taking the necessary step to prevent and assist our cases abroad, especially for the OFWs. Now, the question is, maybe there could be also a collaboration or a partnership with the DMW because of the Assistance to Nationals Fund, and they have the Action Fund also, to be able to work together. And also, is the conditions of our detection facilities a violation of human rights? Madam Chair.
Thank you, Your Honor. With regard to the partnership with the Department of Migrant Workers, Your Honor, it's just unfortunate that the good secretary, Tutsople, passed away.
Yeah.
But we already sent a letter to her office proposing for engagement with the Commission on Human Rights on implementing programs to address OFWs, among which are one, human rights promotion, that is human rights education to OFWs, and our target is the pre-departure orientation seminar to outbound OFWs to promote human rights. And to tell them their rights and the remedies that are available to them, and to tell them that the Commission on Human Rights is an institution that they can rely on with regard to human rights, their human rights situations abroad.
Okay.
Your Honor, we are also exploring some partnership, not only with the agencies of the government. We also have a memorandum of agreement with the Qatar Human Rights Institution for the purpose of protecting and looking into the rights of the Filipinos abroad.
Thank you so much. Madam Chair, may we ask the good CHR, may we be given a summary report on the number of detention and rehabilitation facilities visited by the Commission in 2022? And what are the significant observations were drawn for these visits relative to protection of our human rights? Because for every visit, different angles, different problems, different issues. So we would like to draw from your visits kung ano po yung magiging magandang partnership natin with the OFW party list to strengthen yung fight po natin for their human rights concern. May we be able to be furnished, or you can answer that po, or we can have it submitted in our office?
We can provide you a brief details, Your Honor, but we can submit a more detailed
Yes.
report on this.
Uh-huh.
And as of 2022, Your Honors, the Commission has visited a total of 982 places of detention. And out of this visit, we are giving assistance to PDLs. And as by assistance, we mean legal advice, counseling, psychosocial services, case follow-ups, family communications, and referrals to detention authorities and other government institutions. And we were able to provide assistance to PDLs to amounting to, or total number of PDLs given assistance is 7,944 last year. Now, Your Honors, we would like also to look into the rights, to the condition or to the welfare of the PDLs who have already served sentence. And one of the target areas that we're trying to look into is the reintegration program for the PDLs, for them to properly reintegrate with the society, because we know that the PDLs who have been incarcerated for so long has no family, has no friends, no work to return to. So we would like to look into that, Your Honor.
Madam Chair, that's a laudable project and program for the CHR. And it's very true, after a long incarceration, they have no real family to go back to. And kumbaga, they are, it's a different world for them. I think the mental health issue is very important also during your seminars. Ngayon po, Madam Chair, the Commission has a locally funded project which is a perception survey on the challenges in human rights implementation in the Philippines, with an allocation of 3,138 this year, 2023, and a proposed budget of 308 million for 2024. Is it the Commission that is undertaking the survey, or a third party has been commissioned for the purpose, Madam Chair?
It's commissioned, Your Honor, to a third party.
Okay, Madam Chair, I noticed that there is a funding for this project in 2022 in the amount of 2,955,000, apart for this year, 2023, and there is a proposed additional funding for 2024. What is the status of the survey, Madam Chair, and why is there a continuing appropriation for the same project each year? Is this a multi-year project, Madam Chair?
Chairperson.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. I'm just... It's a continuing budget, Your Honor, to implement the findings and recommendations of the survey, Your Honor.
Having said that, Madam Chair, I would like to manifest my support for the budget of the Commission on Human Rights because we badly needed it, especially in these times of chaos and turmoil. Maraming salamat po from the OFW party list. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you
Your
very
Honors,
ahead.
I failed to answer one of the questions by the good Congresswoman. On jail congestion is a violation of human rights. Yes, Your Honors. Congestion itself is a form of torture. It is a cruel, inhumane, degrading treatment or punishment to the PDLs.
That's very true, Madam Chair, and that's the very reason why we were able to have a talk with the BGMP also. Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. And I'm glad to hear the first support coming from the minority leader, minority leader. Approved na ba? Anyway, so let's move on. The next interpellator is our independent minority, Representative Ed Saladman.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and welcome, Chairman of the Commission on Human Rights. I think this is your first budget hearing.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Recently, the Commission on Human Rights issued a statement that it would be willing to cooperate with the International Criminal Court in its investigation into the Duterte administration's drug war, which resulted to thousands of extrajudicial killings, particularly involving impoverished and marginalized drug suspects. Do you confirm such declaration?
Yes, Your Honor.
And we congratulate you for such declaration. It's a bold statement. May we know, Mr. Chair, what is the extent of the cooperation you intend to give to the ICC?
The extent of the, thank you, Your Honor, Madam Chair, Your Honors, the extent of the cooperation of the Commission on Human Rights, the ICC, would be limited to the mandates of the office, Your Honor.
To be more specific, what particular mode or instances of cooperation you intend to give to the ICC in relation to the Duterte drug war?
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, as you may recall, Your Honor, the Commission on Human Rights has investigated extrajudicial killings in relation to drug war before. And out of that investigation, the Commission on Human Rights has generated a report on EJK in relation to the drug war. Now, what would be the extent of the cooperation that the Commission on Human Rights would provide is probably, since this is a speculative question, Your Honor, probably.
Question.
No, yes.
That is an actual question because you declared that you are going to cooperate. Then what is the mode of your cooperation? What is the extent or what are the parameters of your cooperation? This is not, this is an actual question.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Well, the extent of the cooperation that the Commission on Human Rights will do is to provide, probably to provide evidence that were already gathered by the Commission on Human Rights in the previous investigation. But since we do not know yet the details of the case filed in the ICC, we don't know yet, Your Honor, what data.
Why don't you know? It's an open and public accusation before the ICC against the culprits in this war on drugs. Do you have a copy of the accusation of the brought before the ICC by some affected victims and advocates?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, we would like to stress, Your Honor, that the Commission on Human Rights is not a part or not a party to the ICC investigation. We took no part therein.
That is given.
Yes, Your Honor.
My question is, you declared that you're going to cooperate. What is the extent of your cooperation? 1, 2, 3, 4.
As I said, Your Honor, the extent of the cooperation is to provide the data, probably, that has been gathered by the Commission on Human Rights during the investigation it conducted on EJK, Your Honor.
What else would you do to cooperate?
Well, pursuant to our mandate, Your Honor, we have the mandate to provide legal assistance to victims of human rights violation. So by legal aid, we interpret that to mean whatever a lawyer can provide to a client. Now, we also have, pursuant to our mandate, witness protection services, Your Honor.
Have you communicated with the ICC or their prosecutors with respect to the data you have gathered in your investigation?
No, Your Honor, not yet.
Have you communicated to the ICC your intent to cooperate with the investigation?
No, Your Honor, not yet.
Have you communicated with the Department of Justice your intention to cooperate with the ICC with respect to this drug war?
No, Your Honor.
In other words, your statement was a soundbite, a press release for media, and you have not really communicated to the affected agencies.
Well, it's not a soundbite, Your Honor. It was a response to a question provided or given by a media man.
But in order to concretize your cooperation, you should first communicate with the ICC that you are willing to cooperate. And you have not done that. Will you do that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you furnish a copy of your communication to ICC that you are going to cooperate with their prosecutors?
We will do that, Your Honor.
Then, would you also communicate to the Department of Justice and with the Solicitor General with respect to your intention to cooperate with the ICC?
We will do that, Your Honor.
Can we get a copy of that official communication which you are going to do?
Yes, Your Honor, as soon as we do it, Your Honor.
Okay. You are fully aware that the official position of the national government is not to cooperate with the ICC.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that body statement is, in fact, a challenge to that position. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you for your candid answers, and that is on record. Now, let us go to Republic Act 10368. Would you know what is this Republic Act? It is the Republic Act that gives recognition to the heroism and sacrifices of the martial law victims of human rights violations.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct? And then, in the provisions of this act, certain agencies like the CHR and the DepEd are mandated to give non-monetary reparation to victims. It is also stated in this act that the CHR and the DepEd should include in the curriculum from the basic, secondary, and tertiary education teaching of the atrocities of martial law and the heroism of the victims. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
As a matter of fact, the Commission on Human Rights executed memoranda of agreement with CHR and DepEd, among others, on this particular mandate. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you monitored whether, sandali lang, have you monitored whether the CHR and the DepEd have discharged their mandate pursuant to the law and pursuant to the mandate, pursuant to the memorandum they have signed with the Commission on Human Rights?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, we confirmed the memorandum of agreement entered into by the Commission on Human Rights and the other agencies involved in the Memorial Commission. In last few months ago, Your Honor, we already issued a letter, sent a letter to our, for purposes of the implementation of this memorandum of agreement. I think that in the Memorial Commission,
There is no need for that because I have